I'm sure that everything is working fine, so we can easily start our discussion about automation. So, yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. Today we're here with Michał. So I will be, discussing with you and showing you something related to automation. And Michał is available on the chat. He will make sure that all your questions are answered. I think that I would like us to have an interactive webinar today. So if you have any questions, at any time, just use the chat, write them down, and if I can, I will answer them, immediately. If not, we will have a short Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So don't worry. All of the questions definitely will be answered. So thanks so much. Yeah, and today we focus on automation, and I know that usually when we talk about automation, we talk about how you can save time, because obviously you can automate processes, so you don't need to do them manually. I think that I would also like to show you an example how you can use automation to increase revenue, and also how to turn prospects into regular customers. That's for sure. But still, I think that the main benefit of using automation is actually the fact that you can learn about your audience. Because as you remember, email marketing used to be, let's say, a one-way form of communication, because we used to send emails to people, right? So we used to decide like what kind of information they might find valuable, what kind of info is important, and then we would craft our emails and send them to our list. At first it was like one message to everyone. Then actually we had some we could segment the list, so we have like more targeted emails. But basically automation allows you to build a kind of relationship with your audience, and you can ask questions and you can get answers. So the cool thing is that if you use automation properly, you will be able to, let's say, build a customer profile, right? So you will be able to learn more about the information needs of the people on your list, and then you could create groups of people who have more or less similar interests, and then send them valuable information. And I think that what is becoming even more important right now is you won't have to send them irrelevant information. So this is interesting. Cool. Okay. Romy wrote that he's a totally beginner, never made an automation before. That's awesome. So I'm glad that you're here, because we will definitely go through, like, let's say, like certain levels of creating automation. So I hope that today you will get inspired, and you will okay. So Jana, that's cool. I will definitely make sure that we start with the easy examples, and then we move on. I will show you also some let's say more advanced features. But before we start, I actually have this question, and I would like to run a survey. So just give me a moment, because I have one question to all of you. I hope that you can see it right now. The question is very simple. It is like, do you use automation? So like, think about it for a moment, and I'm going to be right back in a second. Okay. Thank you to everyone who has already answered. I think that we can wait like 10 more seconds so that everyone can answer this question. The question is, do you use automation? And you have like, three options. So I know that some people haven't used automation yet. This is great, and I'm glad that you've joined us today, because I hope that this webinar will be inspiring for you, and you will see that it's actually quite easy. So, it's a good idea to start. Okay, some people use automation a little, and quite a few, but a few use automation regularly. So glad that you're here. Okay, let's wait like maybe 3 seconds more. Kelly, sometimes you mess thing up and break the whole thing. Oh, been there, done that. I totally get it. Sometimes it happens, but the cool thing is that you can, always there is this point where you had an idea, you saved your idea. So even if you if you make a mistake, it's not a problem to just, think about it, get back, maybe simplify something, and just this is learning curve. So we all, I'm constantly learning. I know something about automation, but there is, still so much more to figure out, so much more to test. And I think that, the most important thing, Kelly, is the fact that you are actually, that you use automation and you are trying. So this is, this is the best thing you can do. Okay, so thank you so much for answering the question, and I can share it with you. So here we are. So we have 20 people who haven't used automation yet, exactly 20 people who use automation a little, and we have 3 people who use automation regularly. So guys, just ask questions, share your experience, make sure that, we use this session, because this webinar is a great opportunity for us to basically, discuss the examples, share our expertise, share our experience. So, okay, here we go. So I'm going back to the presentation. So yeah, the most important thing actually is the fact that if you use automation, you can, this, let's say, email marketing starts to be this two-way form of communication, because you can not only send information that you would like to share with your audience, but you can learn a lot about the people on your list. So maybe this, if I were to say, why it's a good idea to start using automation, I would say that this is the most important reason. That actually, suddenly you know more about your audience, you know more about the people on your list, and basically you can become better marketer. So yeah, this is the main reason in my case. And I also wanted to share with you a cool example from Pangaya, because they just at the very beginning of a process, at the sign up, they are great when it comes to sharing benefits, why you should join, why you should sign up for why should they be on your contact list, what is it, what is there for me. And here, this is like a fashion brand, right? And they're really clever with their messaging here, because they say, that you can discover the latest in material science, you can meet inspirational change makers, you can shop the collections before everyone else, and you can help us design a better future. So as you can see, this is kind of brand that actually is very open about that join our contact list because we want to do things with you, right? We want to just, we want to make sure that you are a member of our community, that you actually, you are not only a customer, but you also help us change, optimize, develop, grow. So this is cool, and this is, how it might, what it might look like from at the sign up. Okay, so the first, because I wanted to discuss 3 processes with you today. But before I jump into my processes, I wanted to ask you a question about yours. So what do you automate? If you could type in the chat, the kind of, I don't know, any types of communications that you automate or you have automated. Yeah, we are recording this webinar, so definitely we are going to send you the link with the recording. So don't worry about that. Okay, so we have welcome message and tagging. This is brilliant. I'm going to talk about that later on because this is very important. Newsletters and the articles. Thank you, definitely. Okay, so we have segmenting the list. This is very important as well, and I'm going to talk about it. Okay, I've tried an email funnel before, so I'm curious. What is your experience here? Want to launch my online group course? Oh, exactly. So we can also, let's say, automate, let's say, a series of emails in the course. So when we will be talking about the welcome series, you can definitely apply the same ideas to your course. Specific content they can use for teaching. Okay, so exactly. Only automation we've tried has been offline, using other people. We haven't tried online automation yet. Sure. Okay. So hopefully this session will inspire you to to try the online automation. Moving contacts from one list to another based on actions. Exactly. You can have different contact lists with people with different interests, and then you can move them. Cool. Thank you so much. So the first thing that I really consider crucial, I would say, and this is the first automation I actually recommend to the customers I work with, or to anyone who is actually about to start with automation. And this is welcome series. And here I would like to share a case study with you because one of our customers, this is a Polish company, the company is called Landkafe.pl, and this is an e-commerce offering artisanal coffee. So they, like the owner of the business, he figured out that his customers are people who understand the difference between his product, because this is artisanal, very freshly roasted coffee. So his customers are people who know the difference between his product and coffee that is widely available in a supermarket. So he figured out that he needs to present his business as fast as he can, and he needs to make sure that people have all the necessary information they need in order to decide what kind of product they would like to purchase. So this is the whole series stuck together, because as you can see on the left, we have the welcome email. So this is crucial if you have like a web form. So you need a welcome email, because people need to know that your software works properly, and that is actually working correctly. So make sure that whenever somebody signs up, immediately they receive an email, right? Because this is the moment when they need some information. This is the moment when they are most engaged. So this first welcome email basically tells you the story of the brand. So this is great because suddenly Landkafe.pl is not like one of many e-commerces out there, but it's actually something unique, because the cool thing is that the owner, he likes driving Range Rover, and he enjoys traveling. So he actually travels the world, and he gets some inspiration, and then he translates it into the products in his business, in his e-commerce. So automatically you learn that everything is working properly, and you also learn about the brand. So suddenly it's not, it becomes unique. It becomes something that you even get slightly emotionally attached to, I would say. And then this is what I really recommend. So actually moving from one welcome email into an email series. And as you can see, you have a series of 5 educational emails. And this is great because, for example, the first email here is, as you can see, there is a map. And you can, from this email, you can quickly learn about the differences from, let's say, between coffee from South America, North America, Asia, and Africa. There is this, characteristics like, what you can expect. You can learn about the aroma profile and the taste. Later on, you have there is a message explaining the difference between blend and single, right? There is an infographic actually focusing on this artisanal coffee, right? So what makes it different from the regular coffee, right? That is widely available. So this is very important, and it turns out that sometimes you just need 5 emails in order to share most valuable information for the prospect, for the potential customer. And then, as you can see, the last message in the series is actually a message with a discount coupon. So obviously, this is very popular in e-commerce, and it really it is a good incentive for quite a few customers. So my question is, what do you think? How many % of people who sign up actually end up buying the product? So how many people buy after receiving these emails? What do you think? Just type in the chat, I'm thinking about %. So think about conversion, but it's not about clicks, it's about sales. Okay, we have 2%. Thanks, Helen. You're the first. 40%, 25, 3, 20, 10, 30, 1.2, 5%, 75%. Okay, this is cool. This is bold. This is definitely the highest possible. The highest number I can see here. Okay, 95% of sales. Denise, this is definitely you've raised our expectations at this moment, I would say. Brilliant. So thank you so much. So the answer is that it's 54%, because we've measured the results, and it turns out that actually more than half of people decide to buy. And as you can see, it is 41% of people decide to purchase during this educational phase of the series, and then we have 13%, and this is the message with the discount coupon. So I think that this is brilliant result. Of course, I think that if you work on your email series, if you actually recognize the needs of your customers, who knows? Maybe you could actually reach results like 75% or even 95%. So I wish it really happens. Yes, that's true. Helen, these figures are for Landcafe. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Miho, because you have shared a case study. That's great. So now I would like to share. I would like to show you actually how you can build such a welcome series in GetResponse. So let me share my screen with you, because I believe that, and in a moment you should be able to see my screen. Can you see my screen? I believe that you do. Okay, cool. Thank you. So as you can see, this is the simplest flow you could create. So don't worry, I'm gonna create it with you. So I just wanted to give you show you the big picture first, so you can know what to expect, and now we can build it together. So I have cleared my arena. This is what GetResponse looks like. So if you use automation in GetResponse, this is what you see. On the right side, you can see your conditions. Then we have actions, and we have filters. So these elements, basically, they work like Lego blocks, right? So, for example, I will start with this condition. And this condition is subscribed to any list via any method. So it depends, because later on, if you have like, multiple landing pages or multiple websites and multiple web forms, you can of course like, select people and create different or like, custom workflows for each group. But here, because we want to like create like, this welcome email series, we want to make sure that each time anyone subscribes, they receive our welcome email series. So I start with this condition, and then what I do is I go to the actions, and then I take this, drag and drop this element, send message, and I just join these two elements. So as you can see, now this part, it just a second ago it was gray, now it's blue, and now you know that it's basically connected and it's going to work. And here we need to choose a message. So if you have some pre-designed messages like I do, because I pre-designed a few ones, in order to be able to just like, click through these with you. So you can choose these. If not, you can click this one and create your own message within the in GetResponse. But let me. I'm going to go back to the automation. Okay, let me reload. Oh, there might be something, with my internet connection, but okay, here we are. So as you can see, whenever somebody signs up, then I can send them a message, and then I would like to select the message. I have like a few messages here, and I would like to use this one, welcome message. And boom, basically, if you publish this workflow, you will have this, like very simple automation, which means that each time somebody signs up, they immediately receive a welcome message. But we don't want to stop here, because this is about creating like welcome email series. So what we're going to do is we are going to take another action. And this is, as you can see here, there is a wait element. So I'm using this element because I don't want to send a few emails at once. I would like to create this flow. So here I can wait 1 day, I can wait 2 days. I think that I will wait 2 days, and then after that I'm going to send another message. So here we are. I'm adding this element here. Just like before, I have pre-designed a few messages, so now I just need to find the one that I'm looking for. It should be educational, perhaps. Yes, educational email 1. And then, because it's a series, so I'm going to wait, I'm going to use the wait element once more. And I don't know, it's up to you. You can wait for 1 day, for 2 days, for 3 days, for a week. It all depends, on on the nature of your product, of your business. So now I'm going to use another one. And this is going to be educational email 2. And here, this is something cool I would like to recommend. So let us finish this workflow, because basically I think that this is done. This is ready. But I would like to share a tip with you that you might find really useful. Now I'm gonna use the wait element and just like type in 999 days. And the reason why I'm doing that is that this is my brand new flow. Right now, it consists of 3 messages: welcome message, educational email 1, and educational email 2. But I would like to make sure that if I decide to optimize it, if I decide to make it longer, if I decide to add another email, then using this element is the way to go, because I can always like add another message, and then all I need to do is I need to maybe just change it to 1 day, and then all these people who received the previous emails, they will also, receive the next message I'm planning to, I will send. So this is what I would recommend. It's like whenever you create your automation flow, you can just end it, like, finish it with this wait element, just set for like 999 days, for example, because this gives you an opportunity to optimize it and add something new to the flow, and you will then this way you make sure that these people are within the flow, right? Okay, tell me, what do you think about that? Is it easy? Is it intuitive? Do you think that you could replicate it yourself? Cool. Thanks, Alan. Oh, thank you, Aneka. Bernard, cool. So thanks a lot, because that was really important for me to make sure that everything we do together, and that you actually are ready to do it yourself after the webinar. So that was easy. I'm gonna save and exit right now. So this is what I do. Yeah, and let's get back to our presentation for a moment. Okay, so this is it. The second thing, the second let's say process that I would like to recommend is actually tagging contacts. So who knows what does it mean actually to tag a contact? What is a tag? Can anyone just explain what a tag is? Ivy is writing that it's about inserting someone's name. In a way, I mean, because if you have your web form, usually there are two pieces of data that people share with you. It's going to be the name and the email address, and tag is, okay, we have quite a few interesting answers. Let me see what we have. Okay, Ineke, I hope I pronounced your name right. You're absolutely right. This is a label for a certain interest. It might be. Basically, a tag is a label. So you are free to choose. You are actually free to determine what kind of labels you want to assign to the contacts on your list. But this is actually just piece of data, piece of information. And Veronica, you're exactly right that we use tags to track information. Kyla, you're right as well, because you can create it to segment your contact list and create a group of people sharing, let's say, the same tag or a group of tags. And Russell, you're exactly right that this is about putting contacts into categories. Yeah, this is what we're going to use it for. Segmentation, product user. No, oh, here this is great because we have quite a few good examples, like product user, non-buyer, into segment. These are all examples of great tags. Thank you so much. Personalization and the property of a contact. Thanks, guys. So thank you so much for helping me out. And now I would like to use the same context, but actually to create a workflow. Basically, I would like to add tagging to our workflow. So I'm going to share my screen with you once more. Just a second. Okay, and we're live. So here you can see this is what we are going to build. No worries. I know that it might look a bit overwhelming at this moment, but I'm going to show you exactly where we started. So this is the big picture. This is the kind of workflow that we are going to build together. But no worries. I'm going to reduce it right now a bit so that you understand where we come from. I'm going to reduce all of the tagging elements and the dynamic segments. So I'm going to take this a bit up. Okay, I'm gonna remove these, and hopefully you will be able to see that this is exactly the just a moment. Okay, as you can see, this is exactly the simple workflow that we have created a moment ago, right? So this is it. But what I would like to do right now is I would like to use the idea of the owner of Landkafe.pl and actually create a cool tagging process, because I want to learn more about my potential customers. So just a moment, I need to make room for tags. Okay, you can always just make it smaller, and then it's much easier to work on the arena. But because I know that the webinar, so I would like to make it as big as possible. So here we have this moment where somebody signs up, and then we send this welcome email. This welcome email is created in such a way that basically there is a question. There is a very important question at the end of this email. It's like, are you interested in coffee or are you interested in tea? And based on this click, I can guide people to the right automations, so I can send them relevant information, because this is important. The owner of Landkafe.pl, he figured out that people who are interested in artisanal coffee, they are not necessarily interested in tea. So he discovered that these are like two totally different group of customers. Usually if people enjoy tea, they don't enjoy coffee as much, and if they enjoy coffee really much, so they don't necessarily enjoy tea. So what he wanted to do, he wanted to tag his audience, and then based on their preferences, he wanted to create those educational series, like welcome series. So okay, this is what we do. Here I'm going to use a filter called dynamic segment. And dynamic segment is a great and powerful tool. And basically, I'm going to just put it here. Oh no, sorry, not yet, because I'm going to tag people as well. So now I want to use an existing segment. I have created this segment before, and I have a segment called coffee. And this means that all the contacts in this segment are people who clicked that they are coffee lovers. They expressed their interest in coffee. And now I can assign them a tag. Obviously, I would like this tag to represent. Okay, boom, here we go. It's coffee. I can also color code it, so it's going to be easier for you to recognize which element is which. And now I can just put it right here. But this is like people who expressed their interest in coffee, so people who clicked the answer in the email that they are interested in coffee. But we also have people who are interested in tea, and I want to make sure that I understand who these people are, and that I can send personalized messages to them as well. So here I'm going to use an existing segment, and it's going to be tea. Based on this segment, based on this click, I want to assign them a tag. Here, as you can see, we have this green and this red. It's basically like the positive and negative path, which means that positive, it means that people who are within the segment, they are assigned a tag. And here, people who are not within this segment are going to be checked if they are in the other segment. So T here. Okay, T. I'm going to color code it once more so that it's easy to. Okay. And what else? And of course, we are going to have people who we are not sure because there will be a person, or we can expect that there are going to be a few people who are not, they haven't decided basically, so they haven't clicked. So we can still create I need to build it in a moment so we can do it together. But basically, what I can do is I can still filter people who haven't clicked on coffee and tea, and then I know that these people are, interested because they opened my email, but they are undecided. They don't know yet. So I think that people that I can still just include them in the series, because maybe after this educational series, they will know. They will know that they will realize that, okay, I am interested in coffee. So what to do with people who are interested in tea? I think that we can move them to a different workflow, and it's going to be a workflow about tea. So I've created one called Tea Lovers. And this workflow. Okay, so now let me just go through that, because I would like to make sure that you understand everything we have done so far. So somebody signs up and they receive a welcome message. Because this is a coffee shop, or like coffee e-commerce, I asked them, are you interested in coffee or tea? And then I used dynamic segment to see, let's say, to measure the clicks, to observe their behavior, and people who clicked the link that they're interested in coffee, they are assigned a tag coffee, and then people who clicked the link tea, they are assigned the tag tea, and then moved to a different workflow, because the other workflow will be about tea. And then I have the third segment here of people who haven't decided yet. So I think that it's clear, is it? Okay, thank you, Dennis. So if everything is clear, so let's just go on. So then we wait for a day. We have this element is repeated, so I just want to wait for 1 day, right? And then we send them educational email, and then I don't know if you remember, but there was an email with a map. So what I can do right now is I can wait a moment, and there was a map and a brief description of the characteristics of coffee from South America, North America, Asia, and Africa. And I think that this is very important information. So I also want to make sure that I basically track the clicks, and this way I can assign tags based on the aroma and taste preferences of my audience. So here, let me just do copy and paste. So quickly I will use those conditions. Also, I will add 4 tags, because so I do it like this. I will keep them together so that it's quicker. This goes a bit down. Okay, boom. So here we are. So after 1 day, I want to use one of the segments, and I have pre-designed it before, and this segment is Africa. Here, another segment is Asia. Okay. Then we have the Americas. So we have South America and we have North America. Okay, here we are. So the thing is that after 1 day, we check if somebody clicked in the info about Africa, and then we can assign them a tag Africa, right? Then if not, then we check if they clicked Asia. If they did, this is what we do. We assign them a tag Asia, right? And here, South America, it's exactly the same. Where is it? I have found North America, but where is South America? Okay, here we are. Boom. So this is it, and North America. We got this. I can also change it to purple, so you see tags immediately. Okay, and what we do here is we connect it with another message, and this way, okay, what happens if there is a person who haven't clicked any link, we still want them to continue, like with the series. So actually, I'm gonna just make sure that everything is connected, and this is what we did. We used this basic workflow, and we just added tags to it, right? So now we not only send messages, but based on the activity, based on the behavior of our users, we can tag them. So now we know, for example, who is interested in coffee and who is interested in tea. Of course, we have a group of people who are undecided, but that's perfectly fine. We carry on, we send them our educational emails, and then we learn that people who have expressed their interest in coffee, that they, for example, they are interested in coffee from Africa, or maybe coffee from Asia, or South America, or North America. And this way, we can make sure that we actually send them relevant products, right? And this is what I also recommend, that you need to learn about the needs of your audience, because you would like to send relevant emails, and you don't need to send those irrelevant ones, right? Okay, so I hope that everything is clear. Okay, and then there are, let's say, two things I would like to talk with you about. I would like to show you, and this is like search contacts, and how to use search contacts, how to use contact search, and how to create segments, and then also how to create a re-engagement flow. So do you have any questions at this point? I need to take a sip of water. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. If not, we will carry on, and I will show you two important things. I can see that someone is writing, so maybe I would just wait a moment. How do we create questions and the links within the email body text? Okay, cool. Thank you, Ivy, for this question. So this is easy. This is basically, you need to work with your email templates. So what you do is, like, you write an email, and then you ask the question, let's say, do you like coffee? And then you can use a button, like CTA button, for example, like a button, yes or no. And you can track those clicks. So this is what you can track in automation or through the dynamic segment. So this is very, very easy, and it can be done with any template. Cool. How long will this take? Because I have another appointment. So we are definitely going to finish in about 10 minutes. So no worries. Can you do this with any campaigns? I'm not exactly sure what it refers to. So maybe just let me make sure that I show you something that you will find useful. So, okay, I'm just jumping into my dashboard again. So give me a few seconds. Okay, so you can use email marketing here. Just Ivy to show you what it looks like in GetResponse, for example. So you just create a newsletter, and here you have a library of templates, and you can use one of these templates. And as you can see, there are some buttons, and you can create a message and ask the question, and use the button as the link, or you can just link just a piece of text. But the cool thing is that you have so many templates to choose from, so you are able to create your emails really quickly. But I also wanted to show you this really powerful feature in the advanced search. So I do have like a list of addresses of like mostly myself or people from a company here, and just wanted to show you that if you go to contacts in your GetResponse account, you choose the list, right? And then you click this link, add condition. And this is a powerful tool, because take a look at this. You have this select category, and you can choose like contact details, contact actions, geolocation, scoring, tags. So remember, we have used tags. So for example, I can choose tags is assigned, and then I can select, okay, Africa. So, and I can apply this and this is the group of people who are assigned this tag Africa. So I can immediately create a segment, because I can save it as a segment, right? So I can it haven't saved, but actually it's probably because I have created one already. But the thing is that I can just play with it, and I can create. I can just find particular group of customers. For example, like let's go through contact actions. So I can even track who opened certain messages, right? Or sent a newsletter or automation, who clicked a particular link, when, who visited my webinar. So I just wanted to let you know that here in search contacts, in contacts actually, you are able to just browse through all the data you have collected about your customers and create those segments, and then send relevant email marketing. So yeah, just wanted to make sure that you understand, for example, where the dynamic segment comes from, that you actually use those conditions. And then take a look. I have my segments here, and exactly, I have already created the tag Africa. So then I can send customized products, or this kind of offer that will resonate with this group of people, right? Or here I have my group tea, and this is about people who express their interest in tea. So see, I can be much more relevant. Okay, because we have like 10 minutes left, and I promised you to go with you through 3 processes. So I'm going back to automation. And here we are with the third automated process, which is re-engagement and list cleaning. So it is very important to clean your contact list, because over time there will be people who are engaged, and at some moment in time they stop being engaged, right? They aren't engaged anymore. So it's a good idea to wait for some time, but then just like remove them from the list, because this is about something called deliverability. So you want to make sure that people who are in your contact list are opening and clicking the links in your emails. If not, it's better to remove them, because if you send your emails, but only, let's say, I don't know, 10% of people open and click, it is like an indicator that something is not right. So I wanted to show you a segment I created. This segment is called No Opens, No Clicks in 90 Days. So just to show you how powerful is this basically contact list. So I did something like that. I added 2 conditions. Last open date was before January the 12th, so I went for like approximately 90 days. And another one, last click, was before January the 12th. And I used this, I saved it as a segment, and this segment is called No Opens, No Clicks in 90 Days. And I used it in my automation. And here it is, my re-engagement and re-engagement and list cleaning cycle. So this is what it, how it works. Somebody subscribes, and then we use this segment that I've saved of people who haven't opened and haven't clicked any link in 90 days. And then we send them a reactivation email. So there is like an email just, inviting them, hey, would you like to receive our emails or not really? Is there anything you are particularly interested in or not? And then if they click within the link in my reactivation email, I want to assign them a tag that they are re-engaged. And that's okay. They remain on the list. That's fine, because I've sent them this reactivation email and they clicked. So I know that they are interested in a way. What happens if they don't? Okay. When I do that, I also used this wait 30 days element, and I just somehow connected it together so that it works properly. And the trick is, if they click in my reactivation email, they receive the tag re-engaged and they remain on the list. If not, I just use this element, this action called like remove from, and I remove them from my list. And this way, if you have such an automation up and running, this way you make sure that there are only people who are engaged, who are actively opening your emails, clicking the links. So this way you make sure that your deliverability is high and that you only communicate with people who want it, who expect your marketing communication. So this is the third email, not email, but the third workflow I wanted to share with you today. And now I think that we can go back, and there is a moment, we have a few minutes to answer your questions. Okay, so are there any questions before we finish? We have, approximately 5 minutes. My question is, do you feel that you've learned something during this webinar? And if you did, please just, write down what you have learned. Okay, Romy, removing subscribers from all lists they are on. Yes, you can remove them from all lists or like a particular list. It depends. It depends actually on on a structure, how you organize your data, let's say, how you organize your contacts. But here in this workflow, I have a particular list that I wanted to check, but you can easily remove this contact from old lists and just remove them. Thank you. Are there any questions? Yes. Okay, I was ready to jump in and read it. I think that we have answered this one. Okay, thank you. There is a question from Melanie. I wonder, when you make segments, will that metric include people in the future or only when you create the segment? This is a great question, Melanie. So this is fantastic about the segment you create, because if you apply the conditions, it is going to be dynamic. So each time somebody meets the criteria in the conditions you have mentioned, they are basically added to the segment. So this process happens automatically. This is why, this is still very crucial when it comes to automation. But if you create those segments, they are dynamic, which means that it will include people who, let's say, they meet the criteria in the future. But that's a great one. I forgot about that. I forgot about, to mention about it. Funnel versus automation. Reasons for choosing one over the other. Thank you for this question, Kyla. This is a very good one. So I would say that funnel is a quick way to automate multiple marketing processes, or like multiple marketing assets. Let's say that you want to sell a product or you want to build your list. So you can use a funnel if you want to quickly create landing pages, if you want to create autoresponders, and if you want to automate a certain campaign with a excuse me, with a clear like marketing goal. Automation is when you want to actually use the power of the contact list of GetResponse and create some like more sophisticated process. So I would say that funnel is really good if you want to create quickly like a certain online marketing campaign. But if you want to create a more sophisticated campaign, like a campaign that might be that you would like to optimize in the future, or actually you would like to send a series of messages instead of like an autoresponder, so then definitely go with automation. Thank you. Are there any other questions? Can you only create segments, tags in an email or also on a landing page? That's a great question. Ineke, I hope that I pronounced your name right. So you can use both, because you can use custom fields on a web form on the landing page, and you could use this information and also include it in your segments. So you can use both actually. You can use custom fields and tags, and you can play with it, and you can add multiple conditions and create a, let's say, very sophisticated segment that basically meets your needs. Okay, do we have any other questions? Okay, I think that we okay, thank you so much. So guys, because there's like a minute. So how to apply the scoring. Thank you so much. So you can actually apply it in a very same or similar way like tags. So basically you add this element and you decide how many scoring points you would like to assign. You can also remove scoring points, right? But when it comes to scoring, it all depends on your idea for the whole scoring process. So when it comes to using it within the automation arena, you will have no problems whatsoever. What is challenging here is the kind of idea for scoring. So, like when would you like to add scores? What is the kind of like a trigger, what is the action that results in applying a score? So once you have the whole idea ready, so I would just suggest even like sitting with a pen and paper and just like thinking about it. So then you will have no problems with actually applying it to a workflow within the within your automation series, or like within your you will have no problems with automating it. Cool. Okay. Thank you. So we're I think that it's a good moment to wrap up. It was great. I had really great time talking to you today and actually discussing with you all those aspects of automation. I wanted to thank you so much for your engagement and your questions, because these were like really awesome. And I hope that you will basically that you will try figuring out automation on your own, because as you can see, it all is very simple, because it is this kind of drag and drop situation. So just I hope that you start with, let's say, a welcome series, then you actually gonna play a bit with tagging, and then as you learn, it's gonna be much easier for you to create workflows that bring your results. So thank you so much for joining us today, and have a great night, rest of the day or the evening.